Yeah, I think we're doing well. The mantra for us has always been that our best is yet to come. I do think, though, that we've made improvements over the course of the last few weeks. So that's been encouraging to feel like we're getting better in November.
What did the Big Ten schedule mean to you to look back now on the award weekend?
Yeah. It was, I've said this before, it truly is awesome in every sense of the word to be in a conference with so many good teams and so many good athletes, just having to battle every night. And obviously the culmination of that for us was that last four-match home stretch and, those 4 matches in 8 days and getting four wins and 5 sets. It was an incredible thing to be a part of. I think it's one of the toughest home stretches we've ever faced. But really proud of our athletes for the way they were able to, figure out how to win under those conditions. And obviously we had to, dig deep to get through a lot of that stuff because, good teams who were coming at us pretty hard. So, yeah, it was great.
Are you surprised at the life that this has built up with the fans and what this has become as an attraction as the season builds?
I live in my little bubble, so I'm not sure what it means to the outside world. I just know our fans have been great, and we really appreciate their support. I think if people are feeling connected to what we're doing, that's great. But not the motivation. I think the reason for that would be because I think our athletes, they're authentic. They've worked hard. They're out there competing. They're trying to win the next point, and we happen to play in the best league in the country. And if you like volleyball, it's probably pretty good to watch. There's no pretense to it.
Talking about improvements, in the 5th set against Wisconsin, that back row kill that Paige Tapp had set, I think, by Molly Wellman.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
Out of 16 kills, is that something you guys are looking for new ways to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, Paige has always been available out of the back row when she serves. And, I think it's probably a handful of times that she gets set, but she's always ready to go if you need her. And one of the challenges we've made to Molly this year is to really expand her range relative to playing the whole game. So I think you've seen that in terms of her defense. She's digging a few balls around the block and doing a few other things, but for her to throw up some nectar at that point in the 5th set and have Paige tee off on it was pretty cool.
Sarah Wilhite has had such a tremendous year for you guys. What do you remember about Sarah when she first came to the program, and how has she changed and grown over the years?
Well, I think the change has been significant. I think when she arrived, she was obviously talented, but fairly quiet, fairly introverted. And I think really trying to figure out what her competitive identity was going to be. Over the years, I think she's certainly made adjustments to the way she executes the fundamental skills and the way she goes about playing the game. But I think the biggest shift is just, the mental approach to competition and how she sees herself relative to the team and our opponents and what she can do to help us win the next point. And to see that kind of become actualized through her performance this year has been really gratifying for all of us, really. It's great.
She's talked very frankly about how when she got here, the level of competition scared her, just how, how everybody was so good, everybody was so tall, everybody could hit the ball. She had basically one shot. How has she been able to kind of push through that, gain confidence as she's gone along, and then get to the point where she's a Big Ten player of the year?
Well, it's probably more of a question for her, but I do think that people tend to view competition as a negative thing when they don't understand what a powerful positive it can be relative to pushing individual improvement on a daily basis, when you have competition within the team, and then just understanding that our lot in life is to compete. That's what we've signed up for. So if you can learn how to do that in the day-to-day, then it gets a little bit easier when you have to do it on the weekends. And I think that's probably the evolution for her competitively.
And one part of her game that probably doesn't get talked about as much as others is her play on the back line. She's a terrific digger.
Yep.
Is that something that she acquired here?
I think so. She's very good at seeing the game. She reads it very well. But just defensively, her discipline over the years has certainly increased. As you know, this is really the first year she's been a 6-rotation player for us. And it wasn't that she was bad at those skills in the other 3 years. She just wasn't as efficient as other people were. But yeah, I mean, she's clearly doing a great job in the back row. But you'll watch her; she's very, quiet back there. She's not moving around a whole lot. She gets in a good spot early, gets a good look at the hitter, and then makes her move to the ball. And that's exactly what we would expect from a senior. You watch some of our younger athletes back there; they're running around a lot without really knowing where they're going. But she's good in that regard. She's a very complete player. Not only can she dig, but she can block, she can serve, she passes, and of course she can hit.
What role did you need Sarah to play for this team to be successful this year, and how did you see her preparing for that over the offseason?
Well, the challenge for her was to obviously be the sixth rotation outside for us, and again, I think you should ask her, but no one really understands the weight of that responsibility until you do it, because it's a lot. You don't get any plays off. So that was the talk. Like, hey, it was clear last year that when she was good, we were really good, and when she struggled, we tended to struggle. And obviously there were other players that were very successful around her, but her ability to influence the match was real then, and we talked about, hey, look, moving forward, whether you like it or not, this falls on your shoulders now, and she rose to that challenge. Yeah.
You talked about how game plan is a lot about making adjustments inside the match as opposed to going into the specific plans. What happened on Friday between the third and fourth sets when you went from getting smoked to looking completely dominant?
Was that Saturday? Sorry, Saturday. Yeah, sorry.
How does that apply going forward?
Well,
Like, what do you say to them after they
yeah.
25 to 11?
I think we said something. Well, that wasn't fun, was it? And we just talked about the fact that we needed to get back to doing our jobs. And you got to understand, these are 20-year-old, 21-year-old, 18-year-old athletes trying to figure out how to manage themselves and manage the moment of competition in front of 6,000 people. It's not as easy as it sounds. So the discussion was very much about trying to get back to controlling the things we could. And obviously, Wisconsin played very well in that set, and good for them. But we can't control them, but we can certainly control our work rate and maybe get back to making better reads and making better decisions and really just trying to, get back into our groove. Now, I think the temptation, especially after winning that second set, it was pretty close for the second set till about the mid-teens, and then we went on a little run, maybe a 9-1 run at the end. So I think the temptation for them, and I think you'll excuse them this, is to think that somehow the rest of the match was going to be like that. And clearly Wisconsin had a different agenda. So we came out, I'm not sure this is exactly right, but it came out and it was kind of close, and maybe we thought they'd give us a few like they did at the end of the second, and that we could just kind of, escape without having to really invest fully in this. And, you saw what happened. We got rolled pretty good. But to me, competition, or at least being good in the moment of competition, is not defined by what happens when it's easy. It's about what happens when it's hard. And the fact that we're able to turn it around and kind of get back to playing our game was pretty impressive. So I'll forgive them that succumbing to that temptation. But you understand that they'd gone through 3 5-set victories. Emotionally, I'm sure they were pretty drained. I'd imagine physically they were pretty beat up. So to dig a little deeper and to find a way to win under those conditions was, I thought, really, really impressive.
Could you tell us about North Dakota?
Good team. They can play. They have obviously won their league, and they're handy. A lot of good athletes from this area, from just the northern part of the country in general, that have stayed close to home, and we expect a good match.
What do you think the differences are going to be between the first time you played North Dakota and this match?
Well, hopefully we'll play a little better. It was our first match at home last year, and I think that showed when you watch the video. We made an uncharacteristically high number of errors. I would expect that they're better too, but I think we're more prepared to battle at home.
Anything else for Coach?
Very good. Thanks, everyone.
Thank